What is going on, winners? I want to talk to you guys today. We're just going to do a little bit of a review, kind of go back to where we started, which was we had a belief that was kind of holding us back and keeping us within a fence, so to speak, keeping a ceiling on what we were capable of doing. And because of that, we followed the same path. We followed the same map, which always led us to a very similar destination that we've always ended up in. And so we worked really hard to just analyze and figure out what this belief was. This belief that was holding us back, this belief that kept us in a fence, so to speak, kept us at the same destination. Once we figured that out a little bit, we sort of did an uncomfortable exercise of bringing it out into our conscious mind and then moving it out of the way. And now we've been declaring really this new empowering belief that we have, this declaration of how amazing we are, what we're capable of, all of the glory that we are meant to live in. And then we did some exercises to reinforce that. We talked about the communication, talked about changing our communication to support this new empowering belief. And then we started working on habits, just stuff we do on a daily basis. And the workbook is a big part of developing habits. So we have these sort of psychological habits that we need to build that put us in a different frame of mind, that give us a different map to follow to a different destination. And we build the habits through the worksheet also. And that's why that worksheet is so important every week, that we just fill it out as best we can. We do our review. What's going well, do more of that. What's not going well, do less of that. Because what we really want to do is we want to end up at that destination of success that we talked about originally. And it takes all three of those components. It's going to take our mindset, our skill set, and our habits. The way this all plays in, and the reason that we do this, is because we are looking to attract as opposed to chase. We know that we're going to be ultimately far more successful when we're attracting people to us. We're not chasing. We're not having to come over all these objections. We're not having to follow up hundreds of times. We're not having to buy leads and chase all these leads that have a low propensity to close, because we're attracting people to us. That's the reason why we change the mindset. The skill set, we want to be more effective when we're in front of these people. We want to do a better job getting referrals. But the skill set really is a supplement to having the right mindset in order to close more people, in order to meet more people, in order to attract more people. The worksheet itself, the third component of the program, is just about developing and reinforcing those habits. It's an easy way for you to check a box, create a habit, make yourself feel good during the day because you release some dopamine in your brain. Every time you check one of those boxes, keeps you on track. The boxes aren't there for me to tell you what to check and when. Those are for you. This program is self-directed. It's meant for you to be the best version of you. It's meant for you to figure out which of those things on the checklist work for you, work for your life, work for your family, and check them off. And as long as you're progressing, as long as you're checking off more boxes than you did the week before, as long as you're conscious of what boxes are working and what aren't, and what you need to do more of, what you need to do less of, then the program works. We worked so hard on mindset because we try to attract, and I'll keep going back to that in this video. We're willing to put in all of this work mentally and do the uncomfortable things because we're trying to attract. It's a much easier way of doing business. It's a much more solid way of doing business. It's going to produce more referrals for you when you're doing that. Part of this attraction is influence, and influence is based on inspiration. And when you get yourself in the right mindset, you become inspirational. That's why we spend so much time on mindset. It's because when I can inspire people to make a decision, then I've influenced them. The more I inspire, the more I influence. And that's why when we talk to people, and when we talk to ourselves, when we start out in the morning, we talk about exercises of erasing the whiteboard of life, right? And we erase, educate, and motivate every single morning so that we can start out with a fresh whiteboard, so that we can fill it with positive things, so that we can become inspirational. That's why we spend so much time on mindset, is because we really want to be the center of positivity. And it's funny because people have this wrong impression about being positive. And even you hear a lot of stuff going on about social media, and they say, well, you only post positive stuff. That's not real life. And that's true. But I'll make 2 points about that. And the first point is, it's my responsibility to assign a value to everything that happens. And so if I assign negative values to everything, my life will be negative. If I assign positive values to everything, my life will become positive. we've all seen quotes that said, oh, when one door closes, another door opens. Or, sometimes God removes the things from your life that need to be removed so he can replace them with something better, right? And so when things happen to us and we talk about negativity and we don't let it consume our thoughts and we don't let it consume our communications, and even if something bad happens, I spin it good and I put it on Facebook, or I choose to just acknowledge it and move on to something more positive, I'm not being phony. You're not being phony. What you're doing is you're choosing to focus on the positive, and positive is going to manifest positive. That's just the truth. And the problem is, people spend time listening to other negative people say, oh, well, Facebook's just a fantasy because we only post positive stuff on there and that's not real life. It's my life. I post positive stuff because that's what I surround myself with. I post positive things because that's what I want to focus on. I'm not trying to hide anything negative in my life. There have been times where I've posted that I felt like a fish swimming against the current. Okay? That's the extent of it, because everything after that has to be focused on positive. Everything after that has to be focused on what am I doing that's building, right? I may be swimming against the current, but I'm swimming. And so that's my focus. So don't get caught up in this sea of negativity that the world comes around you. And as you change this mindset, as you move forward, as you be more positive, as you start to share that positivity, you're going to get pushback from the negative world. You're going to get people saying that you're phony, you're disingenuous, you're hiding, behind Facebook and all you post is positive stuff and everybody has problems, because that's the world they live in. But don't let that world creep into your world. You are building a fantastic life for yourself because you made the decision to change what you believed, to replace it with a more empowering and positive belief. And you've worked so hard to change how you communicate around that, to reinforce it. And you're building habits to do that. And don't let somebody else who refuses to put in any work at all take that away from you. Be proud that you live a positive life. Be proud that you talk in positive terms. That's not something to be embarrassed about. That's something to be proud about. And I don't care what anybody says. We all have problems. We have flat tires. We have bills that are due. And we can't change any of that. And I could bitch about it all over Facebook, and I could bring everybody else around me down, or I can say, you know what? Here's the positive behind that. I had a flat tire, and I still hit every goal I set for myself today. I am that good. I am that strong. I am that positive. That's what we focus on. That's what all of this has been working toward. And we're far enough into the program now that if you've been following this on a relatively regular basis, you should be feeling more positive. You should be handling situations more positive. And you know what? If you've been in the program for a while and you don't feel like you're to that point, then just restart. The videos are there. If you need to restart the 60-day program, the 2-minute videos in the morning, just shoot me a text and we restart you with that group. This works at any time. If you feel like you've conquered one negative belief, bring in another one. What's your next disempowering belief that you want to overcome? What's the next mountain that you want to climb? Because all of this works continuously, and we're always going to keep changing, and we're always going to keep adding, and we're always going to keep growing, because ultimately our goal is to become the best version of us that we can. And that version is always going to be changing. It's always going to be advancing. It's always going to be growing. We're going to learn more. We're going to get more experience. We're going to have the next challenge, right? We haven't even done goal setting yet, but you probably had a goal in your mind of what a good year was going to look like. Well, next year, after all this growth that you've gone through and the success that you've achieved, you're going to look at that goal and you're going to say, I'm almost embarrassed that that was my goal. And you're going to raise that bar even higher, and you're going to have to change thinking because of it. And you're going to have language that supports that thinking. And you're going to have to create habits that create that support that also. And my whole point today is be proud of yourself and be proud of the fact that you're positive. Be proud of the fact that people will look at your posts or people will talk to you and they'll smile and they will feel better because you were around. And that's where we want to be. Because trust me, when there's 10 choices to make and you were the most positive one that has made people smile over and over again, and they think that your outlook on life is positive and you're growing and they see your growth and they see your progress and they see your success, you will be the obvious choice. You will begin to attract. And then when you do, you'll get hit with the negative again. Because somebody is always going to be jealous of that positivity. somebody's always going to be jealous of that success because they're not willing to put the work in like you are to change that. They're not willing to go day after day and admit things about themselves that are uncomfortable. Like, I don't feel good enough. I feel invisible. I'm not smart enough. They're not willing to look at themselves and go down that road and feel like shit for a week or feel like a shit for 2 weeks. Well, we build that up. Well, we build the new belief. Well, we reinforce it with the new language. And so be proud of what you're doing and be positive all of the time. I give an example sometimes that we never know. Events are events. We never know what the outcome of those events are going to be. I could have a flat tire leaving here today, and I could say, this ruined my day. I'm late for this. I'm got to get dirty. I ruined my shirt. I'm going to have to spend all kinds of money on a new tire. But what if I had a flat tire and the person that pulled over behind me to help me out turned out to be my biggest client ever and give me referrals? That flat tire would have been the best thing that happened in my life. So sometimes we don't know right now when an event happens. It feels bad, but we don't know what the ultimate outcome of that is. So we just have to trust the process. We have to stay positive. We have to look for the positive in everything. We can't let the outside influence of negative people who aren't willing to put in the work, who aren't willing to grow, influence us. And so I'm proud of the work that you guys do. I'm proud of the work that you spend time on here every week. I'm proud of the videos you watch every morning. I'm proud of the worksheets that you got. Even if you've done half the worksheets half the time, that's more than most effort most people are putting into themselves in a year. And so be proud of that and get better at it. And so today, I just wanted to touch base with you. And today is just really about having you understand where we're at in the process and that you're going to get pushback sometimes. You know, I'm very happy with my life. And my life, I'm not at my finish line. I'm still working toward my finish line in the same way that you're working toward your finish line. And I have a long way to go to get to mine. And I'm okay with that. I'm putting in the work and I'm putting in the effort and I'm putting in the passion to get there. And everything I do is with the intention of helping to help people grow, to help people earn more, to help people take care of their families, to help people try to live closer to their dreams. And I put a lot of passion, I put a lot of heart, I put a lot of effort into making sure that I can do everything I can do to pass on every piece of information I have, to pass on every experience that I've ever gone through to help you grow. And yet, 2 times last week, I still got hit with shade. I still got hit with someone saying that what I did was selfish, or what I did was inaccurate, or what I did was not true. It was disingenuous because nobody's that happy all the time. Nobody's life is that perfect. And I've never said my life is perfect. What I have said is I'm focused on the positive. And I will always focus on the positive because I want to live in the light. I don't want to live in the dark. And so just understand that you're going to run into challenges. This isn't a magic wand. This is a journey toward a different destination. And there's going to be bumps in that. And there's going to be roadblocks. And there's going to be detours like there is. But if you're going to go to a new destination, why don't you go to the destination of your dreams? Why go to the destination of, I'll end up where I end up after the detour? So put in the work. Do the uncomfortable things. Follow the plan. Fill out the worksheets. I know it's a pain in the ass. I know it's hard. Fill out those worksheets. You will start to see your habits change. Do the daily exercises on the videos. You will start to see your attitude change. If nothing else, if you changed your attitude and nothing else in your life changed, financially, geographically, you would have a better life because you would see life from a different prescription. You would see life from a different perspective where things were positive and things were happy and things were good and things were working to your advantage. Because there's a lot of things out there in the world that are working to your advantage that we're not grateful for. And that's why, we'll get into some gratitudes and stuff maybe later. But part of what we do every morning, right, is we declare how amazing we are. And one of the reasons we do that is because it's a gift. Each of us is special in our own way. Each of us is amazing and perfect in our own way. And we have to celebrate that. And we have to track those people who think the same way. And that's who we're going to track. That's who we're going to do business with. That's how we grow. That's how we grow spiritually. That's how we grow personally. It's how we grow financially. But we have to stay in the light. And so don't let outside influences take you away from this. Practice these principles every day. If you need to restart, restart. There's nothing wrong with that. I've restarted many, many times since I started doing this. And there are times where I'm halfway through and I restart because it just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like, okay, I don't think I have a handle on this. And the 2-minute videos, which are the basis for changing that thought process, are always available for you to restart anytime if you want. Sometimes we think we have a limiting belief and we get through it and we realize, you know what? That's not really what was holding me back. There's something else and I want to focus on that. These are techniques you can use over and over and over again because they're always about growth. They're always about positivity. They're always about staying in the light. And one of the things that I love about working with you guys is every person I've worked with in this program so far has stayed in the light. Nobody has said, oh, that doesn't work. Nobody has said, oh, I don't like that. People have taken accountability and said, it works. I just haven't done a good enough job following the plan. I haven't been consistent enough. And that's exciting because if you notice that it works and you're not consistent, you're gonna be amazed at what happens when you are consistent. So stay in the light. Keep trying to identify beliefs that are holding you back. We'll use our same techniques to bring them out from the subconscious to the conscious, move them out of the way. We'll replace them with positive things. Build some communication around that new positive belief, and then the habits that support it. And it's that simple, and we just do that over and over and over again until we are the best version of us. And the best version of us today is not going to be as good as the best version of us next year. And the best version of us next year isn't going to be as good as the next version of us the following year, because we're going to constantly get better. We're going to constantly learn. We're going to constantly reinforce the habits that bring us success. Not just financially, but personally, spiritually, health-wise. These principles work in every area of your life. Embrace them. Embrace the light in life. Embrace the positive in life. You know, there's a saying I liked, and you know, I was going to title the video, "Jump in the Puddle." You know, it rains and it creates puddles everywhere. And we get annoyed and we don't want to step in the puddle and we walk around the puddle and we forget the joy of a child that they see that puddle and they just want to jump in it. And they just want to make a splash for no reason other than it feels good. It's happiness, it's joy. They want to experience it. And we need to take a little bit of that philosophy in our life and just jump in the puddle. Stay in the light. Stay in the positivity. Stay in the fun. Stay in the pleasant. Stay in the joy. Stay in the love. Because that's why we want to make money, is we want to experience things, feelings, joy, love, happiness, security. Stay in the light. Stay on course. You guys know if you ever need anything, I'm always available for one-on-one. But I appreciate you guys. This is a little bit longer video today. And make sure you're hitting those worksheets. So if you haven't been good at it, make this the week that you start being perfect at your worksheet. Get that printed out, keep it with you everywhere you go, and make it a goal to check as many boxes as possible every single day. So you guys have an amazing day.